Alyssa, who is new into our chat room, and I want to make sure she understands how much we appreciate people being in our chat room, she threw in a question for me and you to answer.
Yeah.
And I'd like me and you to get into it for a minute for her, and then we'll hit our first music break. She puts in our chat room, what do we think about the Cardinals putting in Cobb and leading them to a win? She believes that he should have been the first-string quarterback. She is not an Arizona fan, but she does believe that they made the wrong choice making Skelton first string. And my immediate reaction or response to that is I don't think either one of those guys would have been the right choice.
No, Kevin Kolb is the right choice. And he should have been the right choice from preseason. They go out, they trade for him. They give him a contract. They spend a lot of money on him. Not necessarily a lot of money, but they spend money on him. Give him a chance to play. And give him a fair chance. He was hurt last year. He had some things going on. He didn't really get the chance that he needed to get to, prove himself as Arizona's quarterback. Skelton came in. I understand he had some good games. He led them to some victories. He had a good rapport with Fitzgerald. But the thing is, when you go out and you trade for a guy, and you trade a guy like
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie,
yeah, one of the top corners, to get this guy, and then you don't even start him. It's like a Matt Flynn up in Seattle, that we've talked about numerous times.
Yeah.
Like he should be starting over Russell Wilson. It's like Matt Moore. He should be starting over Ryan Tannehill. Colt McCoy should be starting over Brandon Whedon.
That one you got. That one for damn sure.
And Kevin Kolb should be the starter there. And maybe with Skelton's ankle injury now, he'll get a chance to prove and see what he can do. I mean, he came in last week. What did he go, 6 of 8?
6 of 8, 66 yards, and led him on a touchdown drive.
Exactly.
And
he didn't play bad. He didn't do well.
It was technically the game-winning drive.
Yeah.
Because Seattle wasn't able to go back down and score, even though they got an extra timeout from the referees, which we'll get into later.
Yeah. But that's hard to do. Come off the bench in the fourth quarter, go 6 of 8, lead them to a touchdown, and lead them to a win. That's tough to do coming off the bench when you're kind of demoralized as is, being that you just lost the starting job.
And then one thing I will say, I mean, they were home, but I almost feel like coming off the bench as a backup at home almost is more uncomfortable because your home fans are the one fans you don't want to boo you. Your home fans are the ones that you don't want to dislike you. They're the ones you want rooting for you and pulling for you to do good and so on and so forth. If he messed up on that drive, Arizona newspapers would be tearing him apart. They'd be getting on the organization for making that trade. Now, I want to sort of play devil's advocate on this one. I sort of actually preferred Skelton being the starter for them, mainly for the fact that Larry Fitzgerald, the cornerstone, the only guy on that team, or at least offensively, that is excellent week in and week out, no matter who the hell their quarterback is. In my opinion, Larry Fitzgerald likes Skelton. And if Larry Fitzgerald likes Skelton, and I'm the head coach, and I really have nothing to choose from what I've saw of the two of them in preseason and what I've seen of them at practice and so on and so forth, then I'm putting in the guy that my number one player likes. And I'm playing John Skelton. And John Skelton didn't start that game off bad. He didn't play great. But in the first half, he started the game, I think, 7 for 7. And then, sort of evened out. Wasn't, obviously, let's be serious, nobody completes 100% of their passes in a game. But what happened was all of a sudden the second half comes, and through a quarter and a half, they had 4 passing yards. And that's on Skelton. So all of a sudden, Cobb comes in 6 of 8. I just think Skelton was the better fit because that's what the offensive players seem to have wanted.
Yeah.
And if you can have that continuity developed already and that's what your players want, sometimes you just got to give it to them. And I think it was really just...
Well, they tried to give it to him. The guy got hurt, so now Cobb's going to get a chance to step in and prove what he can do.
Yeah, well...
Who knows? Given a couple weeks, a few throws, maybe he builds some type of rapport with Fitzgerald where he changes his mind and says, listen, we can win with this guy.
We can rock with this guy. And, I think Larry Fitz is the ultimate professional. He's not going to go complain to the media. He's not going to sit there and, go crying to the coach, get Cobb off the foot. No, he's not going to do that. Now, in my opinion, I will say, not even my opinion, the straight fact of the matter is, I've heard different reports. One report has told me it's a high ankle sprain and Skelton can miss up to a month. Another report was it's a low ankle sprain and he's questionable for Sunday. All they might have to do is give him a painkiller and tape up his ankle a little tighter. I've heard different reports, so I don't know which one is actually true. But either which way, I think... See, and you made great points. I really want to argue with you here, but you made great points, especially on you made the investment. and you have to see what it turns. It's like teams that draft rookie quarterbacks that suck. You still got to ride with the guy for at least a year or two. You got if you invest, especially before they made the new CBA.
If you invest in a guy, why wouldn't you give him a chance?
Like every
That's
opportunity
why I don't
possible.
understand. Now I understand Russell Wilson played well, and things were happening up there preseason wise in Seattle. But the thing is, you went out and you spent $6.5 million a year over the next 3 years for Matt Flynn. What are you doing? If you don't use him, you're just kind of pissing that money away.
Oh my God, that's the complete truth. Like I said, I really wanted to play devil's advocate in this situation, but I don't have good points to really make because Skelton's done nothing for me to sit here and be like, boom, look at John Skelton.
The one thing Skelton's done is he's built a rapport with those guys on the offense. He's built a rapport with the tight end king. He's built a rapport with Fitzgerald and Roberts and a lot of the guys there, and they like him, and they feel confident with Skelton. That's what Skelton was doing. That's why he earned the starting job is, like you said, the one point that you made that was a good point was the fact that they have a rapport. They like him. For whatever reason, they don't have that same comfortability with Cobb. Maybe they'll get that in the next few weeks because it looks like Skelton's going to be out at least a week. He's got an ankle sprain, so I don't expect him back next week. So who knows what can happen with Cobb. But I never understood teams that bring in a guy, pay him a bunch of money, and then have a quarterback battle. If you're going to pay a guy, you pay him to be you pay him to be your guy. You don't pay him to,
to sit on the bench and keep it warm for people.
Yeah. You don't pay him to wear a headset on the sideline and, go over pictures, between series.
In between series, yeah. That one, I can completely agree with you on that. I really do. I wish I didn't because it's always more fun when me and you argue. But reality's reality, ladies and gentlemen. And I think the simple fact of the matter is, based on Elise's comment, the simple fact of the matter is they made the investment in Kevin Kolb. He showed you, me personally, I said it during the game, he's a great backup quarterback. My man just can come in and play the game of football. You saw it when he was in Philly, and that's what made him worth acquiring in Arizona's eyes. And then he comes in for Arizona, 6 for 8, 66 yards, game-winning touchdown drive. He did his job. And now, can he take the better job? You know what I mean? Can he go take the starting job?
Can he continue on what he did last week? Can he build on that? Can he go, next week, 18 of, 26 for, 250 yards and 2 scores and lead him to a win? Is he capable of those numbers? I think he is. And it's hard. All you got to do is throw the ball up in Fitz's general direction, and he'll find a way to bring it down. One of the top 3 wide receivers in the league.
Seriously.
Probably up there with Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson probably.
Calvin, Andre, some people really like Jordy Nelson. I don't know if he was a one-hit wonder or what yet. That San Francisco defense
he's not
is locked
number
in.
one. He's not Calvin Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, my God. No, but seriously, let's put it this way. Nobody is Calvin Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald.